Setiadi, representative of the HAN, and as well as student organization here, or PP Arnhem. We also have Coko Bagus, who's a student here and also representative of both the organizations I just mentioned. We have Tante and Tante Prita as representative of the Dua Bangsa, as well as Kun Kaster and Ton Van Nosh, representative of the Han University. Before we start, I have a request for the participants who are in this call. So please mute the audio, mute your mic during this call, but please turn your video on. So it's much better for especially Ton and Kun when they're presenting to be able to see who they're talking to. And whenever any of the participants would ask any questions or have any questions to address to any of us in the call, please do note them down in the chat or wherever you want on a piece of paper. And whenever we have the time to answer, we will spare the time and answer those questions. We will also have a question and answer session in the end of the presentation. So maybe you can also keep the questions for when the time slot is available. So as per request of Tante Prita, please turn on the video and mute the audio to prevent any interruptions.
Hello, good afternoon. It's morning in Holland, by the way. Next to me is Koen Kuster, who works in our international marketing and recruitment department. And my name is Ton van Os, and I am a teacher of English at the business school of Han University. And Koen and I together travel to Indonesia once or twice a year to visit Dua Bangsa, to give info sessions, right? And to visit high schools for the last 2 years anyway. Unfortunately, we cannot travel to Indonesia, so we'll have to do this online. And we will just give you a short presentation because I know from experience that it's really difficult to keep your attention there when you are watching things online, about the university, about Holland, about studying in Holland. And I'm sure our two students can help me out when it comes to the technical studies. I hope you will be able to help out. Okay, let's start, right? I will give you a brief overview. And I'm just checking now because I'm looking at a different screen. Has the slide changed? Is there now a slide saying contents and why Holland?
No.
Okay. Okay. Ha. Yes. Yeah. And then you will have to try to.
Yeah. No, we can. Yeah.
Is it now there?
Yep.
Yes, yes.
Oh, good. Ooh, that's good. Okay. So I'll say something about Holland. I will say something about why you should choose to study at Han. I'll say something about the courses, about the money part, and about accommodation. First of all, normally in a presentation, I would first ask what do you think of when you see the Netherlands, right? And many people think about tulips, windmills, wooden shoes, and nice houses and canals in Amsterdam. And the question is, if this is a good idea to study in Holland, right? To be really honest with you, tulips only blossom 3 weeks a year, and wooden shoes are only worn by farmers in very wet areas. I don't think this is a good reason to choose the Netherlands to study, right? But I think there are better reasons. First of all, Holland is known to be safe, right? It is open-minded. We are used to having many cultures around, and We are used to having many religions, right? So there are mosques, churches, synagogues to be found in Holland, and we are said to be quite tolerant. All this is also due to the fact that we are quite small, of course, right? It's a small country. Because we are small and we have to take other countries into account, it means that everybody, and I mean really everybody, speaks English, right? So also the bus driver, the small shop owner, anybody in the street will be able to answer questions in English. There is no need to learn Dutch, for instance. More importantly, will you go back, please?
Oh, sorry.
More importantly, for years on end, if you look at the national surveys, we belong in the top 3 when it concerns education. The other 2 countries, and you may be surprised, would be 2 Scandinavian countries, right? So the UK and the US are not in the top 5 or the top 10 even of quality in education. Even though there are better schools or better universities in the UK, but the general level is lower because the difference in standards is really high, the difference in quality. So in the UK, you will find top universities, but also quite bad ones, to be honest. And that still goes for the US as well. So in Holland, the overall level of education is quite high. Our government makes it quite easy to study. So we welcome you, right? Which means you will get a study visa for 4 years, right? For the duration of your studies. Your study visa or your residence permit will be valid not only in Holland, but in 25 other countries. So you can travel freely around Europe without having to apply for other visas. And unlike many countries that kick you out after you graduate, in Holland it's possible to apply for a search visa, as we call it, and after you graduate you can stay in Holland for 1 more year if you find a job that is related to your studies in that year. You can stay and get a work permit. So these would also be, I think, better reasons to study in Holland. Okay. Then Han, right? Let me start by saying that, as I said, overall the quality is the same if you talk about University of Applied Science, right? So in principle, all the studies are the same, but of course we are better, all right? And you should believe me for this because in other cities they will say they have better schools, but there are differences, right? And I think you should take them into account, right? First of all, we have a nice study environment, we have modern buildings and facilities, we have quite a lot of international students, right? 3,000 in total, and we try to get our international courses to be as international as possible. And I think that working with international students in projects really helps you to become a better global citizen, right? We will guarantee your accommodation for 1 year. So we will give you housing close to the university. And to make you even more international, we will give you the option of studying abroad in the 3rd year. We have about 300 universities all over the world that we have an agreement with, so you can study there. In Indonesia, that would be Binus and Gajah Mada, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, okay. Then I think a very important aspect, right? In Holland, we have research universities and we have universities of applied science. We are a University of Applied Science, which means that we prepare you for a job. We do not prepare you for research, we prepare you for a job. And that means that in our program, right, which lasts 4 years in total, you will only spend 3 years in school, but you will spend twice in a company or in a hospital or in a government organization, right? once in your third year, once in your fourth year, both taking half a year. And that means that when you graduate, you will actually have 1 year of working experience, which employers like, right? So the job opportunities because of this are quite good, right? Finally, we have mentors, tutors that will guide you through the years, right? And you will be, you will have more student support in your first year, accommodating you, hopefully. Okay, so that's about HAN, right? And why we think you should consider studying here. Okay, then something about the programs, right? We have 5 engineering programs, 2 business programs, and 1 social science program, right? Since we are going to keep it short, right, I'm not going to give you a slide with each of these, right? I will just briefly say something about them. Starting with the engineering bachelor's, right? I think automotive engineering stands for itself, right? You will become an expert in the automotive industry. Since it's higher education, this is not about being a mechanic, right? But this is about making cars better, safer, more economical, more environmentally friendly, right? So it is about the higher education, right? There are a lot of workshops in the building. There's a lot of practical components. It has a lot to do with software, right? To measure things and to change things. And they have quite an active student body that has all sorts of projects. They have a Formula One team, they have a rally team, they have, they're building a solar energy car, right? Working on that anyway. So, yeah, okay. Then mechanical engineering, right? It speaks for itself that, especially for the first 3, you would need physics and mathematics, right? Mechanical engineering, anything that moves, anything that should move is built by you, right? The earliest example of mechanical engineering would be a windmill or a watermill, right? In let's say before the year 0, but with all sorts of things, any machine that works is related to mechanical engineering, right? A part of mechanical engineering would be electrical and electronic engineering, right? They are connected. And when you study mechanical engineering, you will definitely also do some CAD/CAM programs, electrical engineering, right? But electrical engineering will focus on the electronic and electrical part, right? Which ranges from electronics in a cell phone to electrical components in a power plant, right? So it is huge and very big, right? I'm just wondering, because the 2 fellow students, or the 2 students we have here, are actually in the engineering department, if I'm not mistaken. Would you like to add things here?
Yeah, small things that I would add is it's the teams that are there, you're actually supposed to join one. It's part of a project, so you will get the experience, like the good experience, hands-on experience. And sometimes we also have collaboration with the business students and the other electrical maybe and mechanical engineering too, but mostly it's in automotive. And
okay, and I just mentioned the rally team and the Formula One team and the solar energy car.
Yeah,
Are there more?
actually the solar energy team is they're using hydrogen as a power source, so not really solar, so it's actually better. Yeah, of course they accept right now they actually accept international students. Before it was mostly Dutch, and they communicate better that way and they prefer it that way, but now they're opening to international students too. Other than that, yeah, automotive is mostly it's not only about cars though. Anything that basically moves is automotive, so even trains and to a certain extent ships, because they use the same engine and they use the same sciences. Yeah, well, mostly that. And you will get actually mechanical engineering too, and electrical engineering too there. And yeah, you get everything that.
Yeah,
Um,
they're all
the-
connected, right? And that makes sense. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Mhm.
Especially, I mean, if you study mechanical or electrical, there is an overlap in the first 2 years, right? Quite a big overlap, definitely. And even in automotive, there is overlap. Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Is there anything else I forgot to say, or?
There's you can also specify on certain things. So for example, like me, I specify on the vehicle electronics and control. So but you can and business management. So you actually get business too in the automotive, but not as detailed as a business business degree.
It looks
Just
as if
basic.
everything is connected now. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
I'll move on, right, if you don't mind. The last two engineering bachelors will be chemistry and life sciences. These are the only two bachelors that actually take place in Nijmegen. Oh no, that's not really true. The engineering bachelors. But so most of the international studies are in Arnhem, right? And the chemistry and life sciences take place in Nijmegen, just like international social work. These cities are only 20 kilometers apart, so they are quite close to each other, but they are different cities, right? Well, chemistry speaks for itself. I hope you see that, right? To give an example, my brother-in-law has worked for Akzo Nobel, and he has spent his career on making paint better, right? So that is an industrial application, right? So how do you get it to dry faster, to stick longer, to paint more easily, right? So he has been innovating on that aspect for his career, to be honest. So that is one of the application. And life sciences, closely connected, right? There's also overlap there, but life sciences is more laboratory work even than chemistry, although there is a lot of laboratory work there as well. Life sciences focuses on the molecules, right? And you specialize either in food or in medicine, right? So you will work for a medicine company or a hospital or for a food company to make food healthier, less fattening, and that sort of thing, right? All these graduates, right, from these five streams are in high demand, right? So it's relatively easy to find a job, right? Okay. Turning to the business bachelors, right? We used to have 5, but we now only have 2. And that is because international business is now the umbrella for actually 4 specializations, right? So in international business, you would study all the aspects of international business for 1.5 years, which means you would study about marketing, management, logistics, finance, management, and then after 1.5 years, you would specialize, right? So it means that we have 4 specializations. One is finance, one is marketing and sales, the third one is supply chain management, logistics, and the fourth one is organization and change, which focuses on change management, on management in general, right? So you get the basics first, and then later you specialize, right? And then, as for communication studies, right, they are a separate studies, and in business, because this is in the business school, this communication is really important, right? Both internal and external communication is important, right? Students learn to build a website, to make a public relation campaign, to focus on internal communication. How do you keep your employees satisfied? About sales plans, sales campaigns, right? So everything to do with communication between a company with its employees or with its customers or investors or newspapers, the media are all covered here. Very practical, very many projects, right? As for all of the courses, there are many projects, right? Okay. Then there is a new branch to our tree, right? We will start this in September this year. International social work has existed for more than 30 or 40 years, but as from September, this will also be offered in English. In Dutch, they have 4 specializations, right? But the English stream will focus on international social work, which of course has to do mostly with making the world a better place, but also with helping people. So this is about helping refugees, but also helping people who got pregnant at a very early stage, right? This is about helping people whose country is flooded. So this is about social work, and this is about psychology, behavioral science, and you will make the world a better place if you graduate from this. Okay, so that's in very short our programs, right? We offer a lot, and then, yes, we don't ask a lot from you, I think, right? Because all you need to be allowed and to be admitted into our university would be your SMA diploma and sufficient knowledge of English, right? Which means IELTS 6.0 or TOEFL 80. If that's all met, you will have an intake interview either through Skype or in Indonesia with one of us, and then we will accept you, right? And I would like to make one thing clear here, because we are here to say that we are a good university, but we don't ask for a lot, right? Many good universities in other countries would ask you to have a certain average grade, right, in your final test at school. The reason is simple: we are not allowed to do this, right? The Dutch government says anybody with a secondary school diploma should be allowed to study, right? There are reasons to be thought of here. I mean, I can think of, let's say, students in their puberty having 1 or 2 wild years, right, and having low grades, but still be very clever, right? Albert Einstein, I think you have heard of him, graduated from high school with 2 insufficient grades, right? But still he was a genius. So the Dutch government, and I agree with them, say anybody should be allowed to be admitted, right? That doesn't mean we don't select, because at the end of year 1, if you don't pass 75% of your exams, we will ask you to leave, which is a very nice word for kicking you out, right? So, so if you don't pass 75% of your exams, you will have to leave the school, right? Now, don't start worrying, because it is my experience that if you are a serious student, if you put on the hours, right, then you will have no problem going into the second year, right? It is our experience. We have about 25 to 40 Indonesian students every year. It is our experience that the general system of education in Indonesia is not bad at all, actually quite good. And so your basic knowledge is good enough for us to go on. Yeah. Okay. This is more interesting for your parents than for you, probably, but we would like to show this to you anyway. The tuition fees, and these are for next year, right? For the business bachelors and the social work bachelor is about 7,400, and then the engineering bachelors are a bit more expensive because they need more equipment, right? These are tuition fees for per year, right? So you will have to pay this every year. But we offer scholarships, right? I'm not going to go into this in much detail, but if you receive a scholarship, the only extra requirement is that you need IELTS 6.5, right? And then you can apply for the scholarship. And then I hope you can make the maths very quickly. It would boil down to 12,500 euros in total, the scholarship, right? 5,000 in the first year, and then 2,500 in years 2, 3, and 4. Yeah. We have listed some other costs, right? Accommodation is quite expensive in Holland, but in Holland we have the principle that it is one person, one room, right? So you will have your own room, you will have your own bedroom. Sometimes you will share your kids' kitchen and bathroom. Sometimes you won't, but this is the average cost of a room in Holland, right? And the living expenses would be about 75 to 100 euros a week, right? To stay alive, so to speak. In total, we normally say that per year of studying, including everything, you need between 15 to 20,000 euros a year, your parents, right? Okay. Okay, I'm sure that Hedy and Peter will have more to say about this. But we'll turn on for the moment, right? And we'll go on. We have a small video of a student who is now in his third year at the business school. He's from Surabaya. His name is Jonathan.
I choose the IB at Han because it offers a wide variety of choices in the first year. So my studies in here, it actually is going really well. I really like the module here. It is highly practical. We do a lot of cases, we do a lot of projects, and I really like it. There was a project in the second year that I like. So we analyzed a company which is HP to decide whether it is a good investment or not. I choose IB at Han because it offers a wide variety of choices in the first year. I chose the portfolio management electives, which is also in the finance sector. There I learned how to manage portfolio, how to pick stocks, basically doing fundamental analysis or technical analysis with a great teacher. And advice for students who want to choose a major, I think for me, it's just to choose what they like best and what they are able to do best.
You know, it's, yeah, there you go. Yeah. Okay, this is my short presentation. I hope there will be many, many questions, right? And additions, right? But this is what it is. And after this session, should you need more information, please visit the website. But I'm sure that Ibu Eri and Ibu Prita will be willing to answer all your questions even after this session. But I'm going to hand it over to you again. Oh. And would you stop sharing?
Yeah, I did.
Oh. Did we stop sharing?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tan and Kun, for the presentation. Hope it helps for whoever's listening in this call. And now if there's any questions from any of you to Ton, maybe to Kun as well, please do ask, or you can either ask, turn on your mic, or you can also type it in the chat box. And you can say it in Indonesia as well, and I'll translate, or whatever would suit you, right?
Ada yang mau bertanya? Mungkin bertanya mengenai program. Karena Ken dari International Business dan Cok dari otomotif. Atau mau bertanya mengenai bagaimana lapangan pekerjaan misalnya?
Yeah, feel free to ask. Harusnya ada satu orang at least yang bisa ngejawab secara spesifik.
Oh, Ken, ICM ya?
Yes.
So you are ICM
Communication
students?
Studies. Yep.
Okay, maybe you can say something about ICM perhaps?
Okay. About communication studies. Not sure whether any of you is aiming for communication studies, but if you do, feel free to listen. Ton already touched a bit on that matter during his presentation. But in general, communication studies is a pretty hands-on and practical curriculum where almost every semester you will work with a real client or a company that will usually have a communication problem that you need to analyze and give advice upon. And it just gives you kind of the idea of how it works in the real life with consulting and giving advice based on your knowledge. And it actually helped a lot, especially when you go into your third year and fourth year doing your internship and GA, because you already have the experience of how to present certain information towards a company. Therefore, when you actually work as an intern, you'll be able to present yourself in a manner where it's appropriate. And in communication studies or in any business stream, you will also get the chance to go abroad for study abroad, as Ton mentioned earlier. And I went to Finland. So it was an experience. First, I got a lot of international exposure from school, and I also went abroad. So as a communication or business students in general, it's always good to have an international background with you wherever you go. So yeah, if you're looking for like a hands-on, practical, and quite fun, not boring, I think communication studies is quite a good choice. Well, for me.
Great. So you go to Finland. You went to Finland.
Yep, I did.
For 6
Last
months.
year, 6 months. Yep.
So how was the language there? You speak English well?
Finland is quite similar to Netherlands in terms of language, because most of them do speak English pretty fluently. And I did not have to learn Finnish, just the same as how I do not have to learn Dutch for general conversations. Yeah, but it was fun because there are a lot of other fellow exchange students. So you can also really make new connections or with people you did not know before, even from our schools. I did not know one person from my school, but when we went to Finland, then we got to know each other. So that's just building up your network, I guess.
Okay, great. Oh, there's a question from Radina. Maybe this is for Kun, perhaps. How much is the price for the tuition? The tuition for EU citizens? Do we get scholarship too?
Let's start with the last part. EU citizens don't get that scholarship because they pay a much lower tuition fee of around €2,500 only. Does that answer your question?
Radina, does that answer your question? Do you want to have more question about this? Yeah. Hello, Radina. Oh. Thank you. Yes, thank you. Are you EU citizen, Radina? No? Yes?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I would like to explain this, right? Because I always feel like we are discriminating, but we are not. The point is that for EU citizens, right, the Dutch government gives us €5,000 every year as a subsidy, right? And we need that to give our education, right? Unfortunately, the Dutch government stopped doing this for non-EU students about 15 years ago, I think. So we have to charge non-EU citizens more in order to give the education, right? And I would like to stress that we are not a private university, right? We are just a government-funded university, right? There are no shareholders. We don't make a profit. Everything goes into education and into our salaries, but that's also education. So So I would like to say we're not making a profit, and there is a reason why we charge Indonesian students more than European students, right? Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, I give the floor back to Kenneth then.
There still any other questions? If you have questions regarding curriculums, it's still for me, Chokorda and Tunen Kun. But yeah, this is just gonna be questions from here onwards. So please.
You're not getting any credit from this, Kenneth, are you? hosting an event. You are volunteering, right?
Yes, exactly.
Kalau mau nanya pakai bahasa Indonesia, boleh loh. You wanna ask in Indonesia, that's okay. Mungkin mau nanya soal lapangan pekerjaan kali di sana, gimana? Atau kalau lulus bagaimana, boleh kerja nggak di sana, misalnya kayak gitu. Ada yang mau nanya?
Nggak ada yang nanya, tanya.
Malu-malu. Oke, kayaknya Kenneth aja ngobrol sama Ton.
Dan mungkin kita bisa kayak ngejelasin kayak sehari-harinya kita gimana di sini, like how we go through our daily life.
Yeah.
Maybe that would spark some questions.
Great. Maybe you can explain.
Okay. Chok brought up quite a recent topic.
Yeah.
Where he suggested that we can tell them how we go on about with our days here and our daily life or daily activities here. So we're here not just for school. Well, we are here for school, but we have other things aside from school. Well, our Netherlands is just such a small country, so you can go to the capital Amsterdam in just 2 hours from where I'm staying right now. And so, well, students like us, we usually go to other cities using trains when we are free from school. And we also have quite a diverse community here in Arnhem itself. Each nationality usually have like quite a community, but you also have a very international ones. Like Han has the ISA, is the International Student Association as well. They hold a lot of parties, events that you can join, that you can attend to. And aside from that, what might be applicable for you, the Indonesians here, is the Indonesian Student Association, or PP Arnhem. In a way, PP Arnhem is there to help you get orientate with your life in the Netherlands or in Arnhem. And me, myself, and Chop, we were former chairman of the organization. And so if you even have any other questions after this regarding the studies here, you can also privately contact us. But that's what I think our daily lives look like. Maybe Chop can add to that a bit.
Well, I would add some small things. It's just that be prepared, because Arnhem is not like Amsterdam, like the way you see like on Instagram or stuff like that in social media. There's not really much things to do. That's why we actually travel to other cities. And we usually use this.
Boring?
Sorry?
Are you saying it's boring?
It's not. No, to be fair, it's not boring. There's actually many things to do. It's just that things that you're not used to doing, like cycling or taking a long walk in the park. Like you don't really do that in Indonesia, but things like that. Where was I? Oh yeah. We usually travel using the OV. Like we have a card. Actually, I can show you the card. We have a travel card like this. We use this for trains, bus, almost everything actually. And we use like this promo we can try. So it's free for we can go anywhere in the Netherlands for free in the weekends. So it's actually a good price. We have to pay like 34 euros per month. Yeah, but other than that, well, if you can entertain yourself while you're in your own room, then that would be a better way, like to save money at least. Maybe we can also continue to the questions that you guys already typed in.
Yeah, can I would just like to say something, right, as a teacher. No, so fine. I know, no, the point is, I mean, Arnhem is not Jakarta, right, for sure. And
Yeah.
Amsterdam is much more lively. I would like to make the statement that Arnhem is the better place to be a good student, right? Because there is not much,
Fair enough.
diversion there. No, it's fine. And as Kenneth and Jock have said, right, Amsterdam is just, I think, well, less than 2 hours away, right? And you know that Paris and, well, all the countries are quite, well, everything is near, right? I mean, we are the gateway to Europe. But it's true, we offer a good study environment, for sure. Yes, okay, okay, fair enough. I think
very supportive study environment.
yeah. I would like to answer one question from the messages, right, in the chat box about the job for the internship. I can only speak for the business school, to be honest. I don't know how it works for you guys, but we would like you to find your own internship, right? And this is not because we are lazy, but we feel that it's good to go through the process of applying for a job, right? Because we prepare you for a job. So it means that at the end of the second year, we do have coaching on this matter, right? But we do want you to find your own internship. Now, Han does have a sort of a website that where job openings are placed, right? And students can apply. So they have to make a good CV, they have to write a good letter, and they have to go for an interview, right? If it doesn't work, and if students have applied for 20 companies and it didn't work, then of course we will help you, right? And we will make sure you will get your internship, but we would like you to go through the process yourself to start with. And I don't know how it is in the engineering department. Maybe you can add on to this.
Yeah, it's actually very similar too. You can use the Han portal to find some internships. But the good thing is, I can speak only for the automotive. I'm not really sure for the other engineering, because Han itself is a research university, right? So they usually take some other, they usually do research for other companies. So you can actually intern yourself in Han too. So technically you can work for Han too. Other than that, yeah, you basically go through the same process. You make your own CV, you write your own cover letter. You will get a guidance with this. You can ask your tutor for that. And yeah, well, just bear in mind the competition is quite hard. So basically, if you do good in your studies, it's way easier for you to get an internship. Yeah, well, just like in real life, you know, it depends on your performance as well.
Okay, can you, I think there are questions about student clubs and student communities. Maybe you can talk about that better than we can. Maybe you and Kenneth can say something about that.
First, all right.
Student communities, is it like, I think there are only like 2 organized by people in the school. I think they have 2, ISA and what is it? One more?
ISA and, oh no,
Right.
mostly the local, like not local, let's just say regional student communities, if that is the right word. For example, like there are the Vietnamese student community and things like that. There's also the Indonesian student communities. But for clubs like sports clubs, there are some individually organized clubs, so you can ask around. People would likely to help you. For example, there are some people who joined the rugby team, some joined a soccer team or a basketball team. In general, just ask around. Um, Again, in Arnhem, it's not really a big city, so the population, people who join clubs are not that many compared to other bigger cities. So it might not be more pronounced, but they're there basically.
Well, we have the International Student Association, right? That organizes
exactly.
trips to foreign countries, and they organize a Christmas gala and a boat party every year. And then we have PPI, right, which is your Indonesian student community, I think, and they are,
Yes.
well, they're all around the world, right? But there is one in Holland, and I think there is a regional one as well. And then we have the Arnhem Business School community that organizes guest lectures and that sort of thing, right? But it's not like, let's say, in the UK. Yeah, people can actually, students can buy a sports card, right? I'm not sure about the cost, but it's not very expensive. And then you can join any sport you like, if I'm not mistaken. You are laughing, Tom.
No, just about the sports car though.
Why? Tell me.
Yeah, well, sports car here, very expensive, like compared in the UK, I guess. And getting the driving license is also very hard. The rules about the international driving license is not really pronounced. Like you don't really know if it's actually okay or not. It's like, yeah, it's all right. I mean, you can do that if you want, but I haven't seen any sports car clubs in Arnhem.
No, sorry, I was talking about
Sports club.
sports cards. So
Oh,
you can
okay.
sports
I
car.
heard the wrong thing then.
Sports car. I was like, what's the doing? Okay. I'm sorry, my English is not so good, but no, it's fine. But
You're the teacher.
sports card. Sorry. Yes. Okay.
But
Sorry.
the thing is, if you like cars, yeah, there are car clubs here, but it's just not sports car. Mainly in the automotive building, though.
No, it's fine. Yeah. Okay. You study automotive, right?
Yeah.
I forgot. Yeah. Okay.
Well, okay. Let me track back to what Ton initially said. Sports card. Me myself, I'm not like very familiar with it because I have never actually owned it. But the second you actually get into Han, during the introduction itself, they will introduce you to this card. If I'm not mistaken, when you have this card, you can visit or use several gym run by a specific company. So there are a lot of gym providers here. They have Basic Fit, Vital, a lot of other ones. But I'm not sure which one this card belongs to. But you will have the ability to go to one of these gyms or sport clubs and join whatever programs they have. And I'm not also sure about the price as well.
I can actually help you.
They do
with
have
that.
it.
Yeah, because I actually have it. This is the kind of card that you will get if you use the student sports card. It's basically the system is that you basically sign up for the student sports card, and then if you want to join a gym, you can sign up in the gym using that sports card. So it doesn't go automatically. You can just walk in and then, you can just walk in and then show your card, things like that. But you only pay to the student sports card organization. Everything else is free. Some you have to pay with a discount, of course, because you use the student sports card. But mostly like for gyms and swimming pools and some other clubs, I don't really know. They are free, but some you need to pay. But there's a lot of clubs actually. I've researched, like there's Aikido class and judo class and things like that, but mostly are in Dutch because, yeah, well, most of them are Dutch, technically, yeah.
Is the swimming pool cold water or hot water?
Yeah, I'm not really sure, but I think it's warm water because every time you go there, it's just very humid.
Oh,
So
okay.
you can't really get
Also,
that with the cold water.
it is warm.
Yeah,
It is
yeah,
heat.
right?
But maybe not as warm as in Indonesia.
The swimming pools will be about 24 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay, great. It's
Yeah,
indoor?
Yeah,
yeah,
but
yeah.
there are also outdoor swimming pools, but they are not normally heated.
No.
So only in summer they are open.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Mhm.
And maybe the students can also say something about the cost per month because we
Oh, yeah.
estimate. Yeah.
For the cost itself, it's around 20 euros per month, but you get all the facilities. You can sign up for anything, unlimited time.
I basically meant for cost of living. How much do
Oh,
you spend a month?
okay.
Too much.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe Kenneth, you can share yours first about the cost of living here.
Cost of living. Let's just say it varies from students to students, and some would actually be pretty, let's just say, good with their money management. If you're pretty good with your money management and you're not like eating out every other day, then I think 300 to 350 would be okay for you.
Very.
And if you want to go and eat out every other weekend or every weekend with your friends, then another 450. I mean, 450 would be good, I guess. But that's around the normal average cost for Indonesian students. I cannot speak for other people because I haven't personally like really asked people how much do you spend every month. Yeah, but with the Indonesian Association, we're pretty close, so I pretty much know like how much they spend. But yeah, that's the average. I must say around 450, 400, 450.
Okay.
And housing, what Ton and Kun had in the presentation was actually pretty accurate. I currently live in an apartment that costs 450 a month, with quite a spacious room, but as usual, shared kitchen, shared bathroom, and shared toilet. But that's just how it is here. Do not expect your personal apartment in Indonesia where you get everything inside your room, and yeah, that's
It's
the
not always
normal.
a studio, yeah.
Do you have to clean yourself, the bathroom, the kitchen?
Yeah, we take
Yeah.
turn. My housemates in this house is actually pretty okay with it. So it's a pretty clean apartment. And yeah.
Oh, there's a question.
Yeah. How many scholarships are given every year from HUN, and how to get the scholarship?
Okay, it differs per year, but this year we had more than 70 scholarships to give away for incoming students. And basically, you need to have a certain level of English, so an IL 6.5 or higher. That's the first hurdle. You have to provide us with your grade list and a video where you present yourself. And the decision is mostly made on the video, to be honest.
Okay.
That answered the
Thank you.
question. Yeah.
I actually want to answer one question from Joseph.
Is that answer the question?
Oh, sorry. Hello?
Yeah. Yeah, next question.
Actually,
I think that's for you. Yeah, Chok.
Yeah, I want to answer the one from Joseph. What careers have recent graduates gone to in automotive engineering? A lot, actually. You can go almost anywhere in terms of career, because, for example, because we have a lot of specialization. For example, we have, let's just take my specialization, vehicle electronics and control, and I also take business management for a specialization. You can go to basically any automotive for business management. You can go to any automotive company or any company in general, like, and help them with their production, for example, give them advice on the technologies that are currently available for us, for them to use too. So you can be a consultant basically. You can also go to the hard engineering ones, where, for example, the electronics. What I can see is that I can actually go anywhere, because they teach you how to make an algorithm. They teach you how to control sensors and actuators, things like that. So basically, any company that has a control system and electronics, you can go to, because it's relevant. Other than that, if you took structural design, you can go to any, maybe even rockets, if you would like to.
Rockets.
But yeah, because it's connected in a way that if you specify on one thing, you can actually go to anywhere, any career path you want. But the important part is you need to specify, because if you don't, for example, I do not specify on structural design, so I cannot go to, at least I don't have the knowledge to go to designing a rocket.
Sound or sound engineering, like that.
Yeah, exactly. Things like that. There's actually a lot of specialization, so don't be afraid. If you like technologies or cars in general, there is a specialization for you. Either it's design, either it's the engineering, either it's the management itself of a team, even to motorsports. If you're into that, you can get into basically anything, almost anything, in my opinion, at least. Yeah, does that answer your question?
So it's not necessarily has to be automotive company, isn't it?
Yeah. However, when you're doing an intern, you are more, how do you say it? Lebih disuruh untuk
choose the automotive company.
Yeah. So you're more. I wouldn't say forced, but you have to choose a related subject, a related company to an automotive sector. So it could be trucks, bus, cars, or like future mobility, stuff like that. It's basically up to you. You can even go to, I don't know, maybe a company that uses cars in their company because it's so big, and then you help them develop their car to be more efficient. You can.
Yeah. But are there lots of automotive company in Netherlands?
In the Netherlands, there's quite a lot actually.
Because I only know DAF. DAF is
trucks. VDL, that's also a company. We have Mitsubishi Turbo. They make turbos for almost every car in Europe. So that's a good company if you want to go to. There's also Donkervoort. They make good cars actually. I was actually surprised because I was looking at it from the Han internship portal. There's also,
how about German? Can you go to German for internship?
Yeah. For sure. You can go anywhere. Oh yeah, that's another thing. It's not only in the Netherlands, but you can also go everywhere in the world. Like if I were to go to Japan, well, if I get accepted there, I can. If I were to go back to Indonesia, for example, you can. So yeah, it does not limit you to only Netherlands, although you have to pass all of your exams to go international. So Ferraris and Lamborghinis are also an option for you too.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Is it hard to go? Is it hard to apply there?
Of course. Yeah, of course. Like they want high performing students. So um, if you set your goal right now and then you actually try to, at least if you're bad at it, you can always become good if you study. So if you try hard, work hard enough, of course, anything is open for you.
Well, I heard that Han automotive students also involved in Rakar rally.
Yeah. Dakar, yeah, in Dakar rally, yeah.
Yeah. How
Yeah.
how big the chance for the students to involve in that rally?
It actually has a bigger chance because Han itself has a Dakar rally team. You can go do that for your projects, actually, not just intern, but you can also intern there if you want.
Oh, okay.
They made their own car and they raced it. The base car was, I think, a Golf, VW Golf, if I'm not wrong, or yeah, something like that. Some
I think it's
small car.
BMW.
What?
No,
What?
not BMW though. I mean, you can, like, if you join the team and then you told them, hey, I think an X3 is good for a Dakar race. Yeah, go ahead. If you have good arguments, if you have good what do you call, arguments that supports your arguments.
Yeah.
Substantiations.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Do
So,
anything. Basically.
Okay. It's getting interesting. Okay. Do you have to pay by yourself for the project?
Oh, no.
Do you have to pay? No.
No. For project teams, we have we always work in groups and we have our own divisions. So if you go into the business management division, you can, and you have to look for sponsors yourself, and you have to talk to people, you have to talk to companies. But if you go to the engineering department, and yeah, well, you design everything yourself, of course, working together, figuring out how much you would spend and things like that. It's actually very detailed and time consuming. So another point that I want to emphasize is time management. It's very important, especially in automotive, because you like it's not an easy subject, and you cannot just wing it. Maybe you could if you're smart enough, but like chances are very low you can just wing it, you know.
Maybe I want to add something also from what Chok just said just now and what Ton mentioned earlier in his presentation regarding the 75% of your total credit in the first year. So basically as the selection process. Well, you have to be a good student in some context. It's good student. It depends on how you study. So you will still have the time to travel and enjoy your time here. I must say, just focus on just be in the class just being in the class and studying a bit and
harder
doing your assignments is already enough for you to go into the second year. Just don't stay in your dorm room 24/7 and play games and not attend classes, because that's just the first recipe not to continue to the second year.
Yep.
But you, on the other hand, you do not also have to study 24/7 for it, because actually Indonesian curriculum would give you more homework than what you will receive at Han. It'll be harder, but it's not as much as what you get in Indonesia. So if you time manage, like what Chok said, and if you be a good student in general, I think that would be already enough for you to continue to the second year. But yeah, just don't try to go into the exam.
Yeah, I agree with
try to go into the exam and wing it how you like it.
Exactly.
How many credits do you need to pass in the first year to the
I'm
second
not
year?
sure. Maybe Son can answer that because I'm not sure about that.
You're not sure?
There are six
For
credits, and depending a bit, it's either 45 or 50 that you need to get. So every exam has a number of credits, right? But I would like to add on to what Kenneth was saying, because I'm really glad with what you said, Kenneth. I always say in all my presentations, right? You've got the brains, but the main problem is your mom and dad are not there. Nobody tells you to get out of bed, right? So it's all a matter of discipline. If you are disciplined enough, then it's no problem. But if you are addicted to computer games and you play them 18 hours a day, nobody stops you, right? But then at the end of the year, we will send you away, right? But if you are going to classes, if you regularly do your homework, then it's no problem. And we make, our system says you should study 40 hours a week, right? Including classes. So it's a normal working week. I'm sure Kenneth and Jock will laugh at me when I take that seriously because they never studied 40 hours a week, I'm pretty sure. So it is dual, right? I think there are, you don't have to put in as many hours as in high school in Indonesia, but you do have to work regularly. And there will also be weeks of 60 hours, right? At the end of a project or things, right? But overall, we don't like being overworked, right? So that's the Dutch system, yeah.
Yeah. Work hard and party hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Work regularly, yeah.
Yep.
Well, still, Chuck and Kenneth already still have a time to go to other cities, to Netherlands, right?
Yeah.
Even though you have to study hard. How many cities you already go, Chuck?
Oh.
Already
What?
visit in Netherlands? How many cities?
In the Netherlands,
Yeah, in Netherlands.
probably. Let's say I cannot use my hand. Probably I don't know. That's the thing.
Lots.
Like you sometimes forgot where you went. It's just that you just went there.
Yeah.
You don't really keep count, and then the next thing you know, you've been everywhere.
Okay.
That's the
Did you
thing. And
did you visit
again,
also other country?
yeah. That's the one of the advantage I would say is that in the Netherlands instead of the UK, right now UK has already exited the EU, so
Yeah.
you need a visa again. But either way, you always need a visa for a Schengen visa. But in the Netherlands, you can go almost everywhere, like everywhere you can think of, basically. In the summers, you can go to Paris or Italy if you want. In the winter, you can go skiing in Swiss Alps. Yeah, you can. And the transportation method is also very, how do you say it, complete. You can go by car, train, bus, planes, anything that you can think of. You can even use ships, because there is a river that actually across Europe.
Yeah.
So you can use ships to go to places.
Have you been to Paris?
Yeah. Mostly. Yeah. I've been once. I don't know. Maybe Kenneth, you can share
Maybe
some.
Kenneth have lots of adventure because you are automotive students. In the lab, maybe in the lab all the time.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
have you been?
Yeah, you are just in such close proximity with other countries. So basically, I've been to just I've done 1-day trip to Belgium. I've done like just a weekend trip to France. I've done we have what we call like autumn break and spring break, whatever it is. It's a week of break that you get. Then I usually go somewhere. Everything is just reachable when you're already in the Netherlands because it's quite in the center and you can go basically anywhere in Europe that you want. But yeah, I think it's pretty.
Is it expensive?
It depends. Yeah,
You like-
expensive or not, it really depends. When do you book it? When do you plan it? Where you're going? If Yeah, I think those are the three main aspects if you want to travel. But yeah, it's gonna cost more than if you just stay in Arnhem and stay in your
In
dorm
Arnhem,
room.
okay.
True, true. I think the key part is that you just need to plan. The system, the thing that I realize in Europe is that if you plan your trips, if you plan everything, everything will be cheaper. But if you just wing everything, it would be more expensive. Like just the way it is. So, um, not like in Indo, you can just, oh, I want to go to Bali tonight, for example, like that. But if you do that here, it would be considerably more expensive. And
Yes.
you can, yeah, basically just practice to plan, because I know in Indo you don't really plan stuff, and yeah, just get used to planning.
Yeah. Currently we're 12:20 here in the Netherlands and 5:20 in Indonesia. So we have 10 more minutes of this conference call. Is there any last questions from any of you? Or any final remarks from you, Ton or Kun?
When can we travel to Indonesia?
Do you miss
For that
Bali?
answer,
Cool.
you ask the virus and the government, not us. Okay. Any other remarks? Anyone? So everyone might have heard a lot of things today about Han. Hope you got kind of a positive outcome from today's call, and I'm pretty sure Ton and Kun are there to welcome you. If you have any other questions, or when you arrive in the Netherlands, or I think if you do decide to go to Han, you will meet Kun and Ton again before you even touch the Netherlands. And
Yay!
and me and Chuck should be here. Well, I don't know. Me and Chuck might be here, maybe not. And yeah. So side note, you can follow Studi Di Belanda in FB and also in Instagram, kuliah di Belanda, if you want to have more information regarding just basically all aspects of studying in the Netherlands. And just if you are really serious about going to the Netherlands, start prepping, I guess, and maybe contact Dua Bangsa. And thank you all for joining today's meeting.
I would like to add on one thing, just one small bit. If you have questions, like some other extra questions, I don't know what you might ask. You can also follow the Instagram of Pepe Arnhem. It's student owned, so the one who's going to read it are students. So if you have personal questions or anything, concerns that you might have, you can just ask on the Instagram. We basically run it,
Yes. All right. Thank you, Chuck, for that. And you can also, Tante Eri wrote in the chat the Instagram and Facebook page of Pepe Arnhem. You can go ahead and follow or ask or share what you want and see what activities we have. But yeah, just start preparing, and hope to see you guys in the Netherlands or in the Han University.